All right, we are live. How y'all doing? Hello.
Hello.
I got Shining Hawk Healing, Seanna Rose Metaphysical, and Red Lentil Healing. I ain't got no healing in my name.
Hero's Apprentice Healing.
Hero's Apprentice Metaphysical Healing. That's what I'm going to do.
There you go.
So thank y'all for joining me on today's Friday, right? Friday. We've been live all week. We went live Saturday, Sunday on this channel, and then Monday we had Ghost Stories with Red Lentil Healing. And what is her name? I say it wrong every time.
Susan Lynn.
Susan, I always call her Lauren because I get the other one stuck in my name. And they were telling ghost stories in the daytime, but they were telling ghost stories. And then Tuesday we were live with a whole bunch of people. I don't remember.
Autumn from Black and Orange.
Thank you, Autumn, and then
Wednesday.
Lauren, you and Lauren, and then Dana and me, and then now all four of us. And then tomorrow I will be live with Shay from Blissful Divination. She does Blissful Divination. And tomorrow we will be doing some readings on some grossities of politics and non-politics. And then Sunday we'll be live on Jen's channel, and there she is right there on Jen's channel. And Tuesday it will be Jen's 60th birthday, and we will have us another birthday bash on her channel. Well, she'll have a bunch of people in and out, so running up your light bill, gal. So they will be in and out the house on Tuesday, so you are there. That was a mouthful. Okay. So, but today what we're going to do also, commercial break. So Shining Hawk Healing, Seanna Rose Metaphysical, and Red Lentil Healing's channels are in the description below. Also, if you would like products and services, you can go to redlentilhealing.com. Also, Seanna Rose, do you have a website, ma'am?
I'm working on one.
Okay. That's your email, right?
Yeah, and email seannarosecaro@gmail.com. If you're on Facebook, I do have a business page for it. I don't update it often, but you can contact me through there too.
Okay. And she does distance Reiki, and I also have a testimony from the distance Reiki, so the distance Reiki does definitely work. So if you need some Reiki healing, actually all three of them do it, but we'll give the promotions right now. So y'all get y'all healing on, especially if you have some minor aches and pains. Don't ignore them. Get you some healings. Get you some, and just get you some advice. Mind you, sound meditation is very good too. So I'll throw in Seanna Rose and Shining Hawk Healing, Red Lentil Healing, and also Lauren Morlise. So you make sure you go over and check all that out. What else do I have to say? Anything at all? I have a deck giveaway that I'm going to do next week. When is Jen's birthday? Tuesday. April, whatever the Tuesday is. 13th?
13th, I think.
Are you born on the 13th, Cal? Okay. So Aries season in full effect on April 13th. So y'all make sure you go over to her channel and celebrate her birthday with her. But today we're going to do some past, present, and future readings. And the way it's going to go is we'll name a person, place, or thing, and we will do some past, present, or energy reading on that. We will have a combination of tarots and oracles that we will do. I'm talked out already. So I'm going to do, I think, tarot for this one, but we'll see. And thank you to all the moderators in the chat as well. Also, Thomas Jefferson, well, we don't need to mention him. Yes, he was famous, but he wasn't cool. Okay.
He wasn't you, Jen.
So right now we're going to start with Oak Island. Oak Island is in Canada, and there is a rumor, mystery, folklore, legend around Oak Island that it has treasure somewhere buried on it. Many people have done readings, and I think a lot of people say that the treasure may not necessarily be diamonds and gold. But I just want to know what the past energy was for Oak Island. What kind of energy did it carry then? I got to use a combination, I think.
I got something kind of interesting.
You go right ahead.
All right, so first I got the Fool card, and I heard untapped potential. People were fighting over the land. I don't know what the landscape is like nowadays, but in the past it might have been really good for agriculture. I've just picked up like really good vibes surrounding the land and its ability to make things grow, and people thought they could have like a really good settlement there. That's what I have so far. That's interesting when those came up.
It had very innocent, childlike nature. Good place to go. There was not a lot of pretension, a lot of stress, strife. Just very good childlike energy. Also, a place of abundance. Probably what you were saying, Seanna. A lot of bountiful land, plentiful land. A place where people can grow and harvest and be. Also, a place that bore many, many gifts as well, not just from, I think, Mama Earth gifts, and just a very bountiful, jovial, childlike energy. Also a place that had good relationships, particularly thinking good relationships with Mama Earth, and very powerful again.
Ooh.
Very powerful.
Yeah, I got the same card for relationships. It was very, very powerful. The word went out that there was treasure there, and those who were connected were able to act on it and get to the island and try to find and gather the treasure. But that was the energy of it. It was a free for all. It was the gold rush.
I get the Fool card as well. I also get this star and then assessing. There are maps of some sort in the ground or of the grounds. Something to do with the ground, though. Like there are, it's like a series of something. Like one thing connects to this, and then it's a diagram more so than a map. Like, well, it could be a map too. I think it doubles. It looks like a diagram to me. Like it would be a bunch of points, and they make a shape, but it's a map into it. There's a map there. This was a bit esoteric, so this is something that was shared to certain people. So I think it's almost like a clan or a group. I get with the Hierophant that it was a people with like belief systems. Like we are you got that too? We are the children of the corn or whatever. And this is what we believe. And we have a path, we have a map to get back to the thing we cherished or the thing we hid or the thing, whatever. All of those people are gone though.
Yeah.
With surrender. So there is no asking the descendant of. I think they're all gone, which is so interesting with the Fool being caught up in the spaceship in the middle of a field.
Aliens.
That's what I get.
I pulled a couple of extra, and I did have the Empress, like a very fertile land, but ever since people have spent all this time searching and digging and mining and stuff, it's kind of like the energy of the place is just very insecure now.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go into the present and let's look at schools and the children thereof, the energy of our educational systems. If you want to do worldwide, if you want to do a particular place, however you want to do. Because school has changed. We still use textbooks, but we use a lot more screens than we used to, a lot more iPads and computers, a lot more digital things where we have to hear our lectures remotely because, the cough is in the air. So you got to put your mask on and you can't go to school and you can't ride the bus, even though there's a bus that comes by every day and 99 kids is in that thing. But it's different now. So what is the energy now with our schools and whatnot?
just an observation. I haven't pulled any cards yet, but just after shuffling and trying to fan my cards out, they were all like out of order and they were all kind of chaotic. And that seems to reflect the energy, at least in this past year. People have had to adjust to a new way of doing things that's kind of chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention, I know both my niece and my nephew, and then my best friend's two sons. It's like they'll go for a couple of days, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, you're going to be homeschooled. Or you're going to do online lessons, and there's not really a good cadence and rhythm. So that's so spot on, Seanna.
It's disruptive. That's what I get, actually, too. That's interesting. That's what I get. I get the 8 of Swords. So you are trapped in a cycle one day. And then I get the Knight of Swords. It becomes chaos. This is chaotic energy with the Knight of Swords. Chaos is his middle name. Then there's the King of Wands. There is supposed to be an order to it, but it's kind of dictated on circumstance instead of by the year. It's serendipity. It falls into place one time, and then we're going, and then it's changed out to sea. It becomes something different. And so it's what is bipolar? That's how it feels. It feels like it changes with the wind type thing. Okay, Lord Jesus.
I got this the 10 of Swords. It's bad, y'all. The kids are just confused. The stability that they're used to having, such as it is, or such as it was, they don't really have that. And this is how they're feeling. They're feeling very burdened, and think that it feels like the education system is just broken, and there may not be a way to fix it or put it back the way it was. And hopefully maybe we can figure out some better way to do it, hopefully. But the connections for our kids has been broken. And you know how trees have the underground roots and everything, and this just, we're not rooted. They're not feeling rooted into society right now. They're feeling very, very chaotic.
Leave it.
I've got it's a tough transition. First of all, tough transition. For some people are enjoying it because, you know, if there's some people that they just never liked going to school anyways for all various different reasons.
I love school. I liked learning. I didn't like the.
I liked learning. I didn't like the cliques and the social aspect of it. Yeah. But there's some people that they thrive on like being self-sufficient. So some kids are kind of taking it and running with it, and they're doing better because they're in an environment like, you know, at home or where they feel welcome and okay. But on the other hand, there's a lot of kids that are like, they're missing opportunities. They're getting passed over for like things like extra help. You know, because when you're in school, your teacher might notice that you're struggling to understand something, but at home they might, you know, just doing it on Zoom, like they might not notice. They might not see that you're struggling. And so some kids are really having a hard time having their needs met. Some are enjoying it, but
it's the kids that are on the spectrum.
Up and down energy.
Yeah. The kids that are on the spectrum. They're having a lot of trouble. Yeah. And,
well, kids who need who go to school and usually have a certain aid, you know, to help them and stuff. If they can't have that anymore, then that would be really difficult.
There's a New York Times article that came out a couple months ago that said that particularly boys, and there's boys in a certain range, they said like it's killed them. Like they're going to be about 3 to 4. This 1 year is going to cause them to be 3 to 4 years behind in schoolwork. And all of my friends with kids, or my family with kids, the girls they're okay. They're not great, but the boys are like, and these were boys that were once like stellar students. It's just, but it's funny because the article didn't quite give the reasons why. It just was like, I mean, again, it was kind of early on, but they're like, hey, we're noticing that this is much harder on younger boys. I get the wild and free card. And what this card is, it's about your spirit wants to be wild, it wants to be free, it wants to do what it wants to do. However, once constricted, once it's not allowed to be and do as it needs to, like Johnny said, it wreaks havoc. And this is what's happening. Children want to be children. They want to go to recess, or they want to have their high school prom or whatever experience they're having, but they're not getting it. And it's rebelling, because the opposite of wild and free is constricted, and it's showing its true behind. And the interesting thing about this card is, if it is not nurtured, it has long-term effects. And so that's the thing that I think we may need to look out for these next couple months, years, is what are going to be the long-term effects on these kids for this year's school. From chakra, it's so funny, I get crown chakra with intelligence. This is actual literal intelligence, education, perception, flexibility, knowledge. I'm going to kind of do what Seanna did, and like, so if this was the yin, here's going to be the yang, right?
Yeah.
What could come out of this, though, is it's going to show the flaws in the education system. It's going to even show flaws in some teachers who may probably not need to teach. I know my nephew's teachers. It's going to make us look at the system. How are we doing our children? How are we helping our generations? And what true, not just book smart, because what these kids are doing is they're having to be way more resourceful, like Seanna was saying. How can we further tap into that additional intelligence, not just book smart? That's like that.
And I think there is a certain, there is indeed a certain amount of experience one gets from being in proximity to each other. When you are in school, when there's a child all around, you do learn other things from other people's walks of life, from other people's experiences, from other people's questions. While you may not have thought to pose that question, I was always that kid because, I'm the inquisitive type. Oh, I didn't think about that. Well, I know you didn't. That's why I'm here. So, hopefully we will figure this out. So we're going to the future now. Let's start with this, and we want to end with this one. War. The future energy of war on this here planet. Just leave it at that.
Lily, I think it will if we don't, as a society, take a step back and honestly look at the situation and address it. We try to just keep moving forward and sweeping it under the rug. I do think it could potentially have some long-term effects on their adulthood. Didn't mean to read and answer in the chat. Sorry. I thought that was a very interesting question.
You do whatever you want to do. Okay. If y'all got your cards, you go whenever you're ready.
I'm still shuffling in.
I have that in the future, I think even in the present, but in the future, people are going to stop pretending to be blind to it. Well, it's not happening over here, so it doesn't affect us. Well, our troops aren't involved, so it doesn't affect us. Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm.
We're all connected. What affects one of us affects all of us. What affects people on that side of the world is going to eventually affect us too.
Mm-hmm.
People are getting tired of the devastation. I also think that in the future, people are going to be really good at sort of predicting when war is on the horizon. That was something that I picked up with that Three of Wands, especially. But I just, with this Fool card, it's like, people are just, they want something different because war isn't really solving anything long term. For some people, it just brings more devastation. On the bottom of my deck, I have this Five of Swords in reverse. Just saying, like, it really doesn't help anything long term. It might accomplish a short term goal, but there's got to be, I think what I'm think what's coming in is like there's always a deeper problem that needs to be solved first.
That's what I did.
Yep, I do too.
Yeah, that's what people are going to be looking more closely at. Well, why is it like this?
I get something. We're going to go possibly. I don't think like another huge big world war. I just don't know if that's going to happen because we may go through a period of stillness. Why is that? Because we're going to start looking at the effects of Mother Earth with the Earth sign. Nobody wins a nuclear war. And at this point, pretty much every country has a nuclear war. So the whole who's going to obliterate who first, it's just not, people are getting, like you're saying, Seanna, getting hip to that, realizing that this is just not the way we want to go. The persona we're going to start possibly moving towards is the Messiah. With this is the person in the light attribute. When somebody has a nice balanced Messiah persona, this is the person who serves humanity. And some of the questions people may be asking is, does this serve humanity? Because again, nobody wins a nuclear war. Everyone's dead. Don't believe me? Go ask Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't, I keep getting that the shadow attribute to that is the exaggerated belief that, you're the only one who can do it. My belief is the only belief. I just don't think we're going to continue to see the Saddam Husseins. I think that persona is going to start going away, and we're going to start getting to the light attribute of the Messiah. What does this do for human war? I mean, not human war, excuse me, human good, mankind. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the emperor who breaks out, the armies for war and death. That is going away. That's going to transition away out of our consciousness, and in coming is a new way of doing things, and it's going to be because of our children. They're the ones who are going to make the changes that we need to make to save the planet, because they are the earth keepers.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I love that.
Okay. So I was having, commercial break real fast. If you have not seen, go over to Seanna Rose Metaphysical. Watch her live stream she did today.
This was really good.
And something dawned on me when she was doing one of her readings is you were talking about did aliens have a help in the advancement of human beings? And then she basically got that, well, you would have been you anyway. Mm-hmm. And so what I started thinking about was human beings. There's always the religious aspect to it is that God created you for whatever kind of reason. And I'm like, well, look at it this way. Since you leave this earth and come back, and then leave this earth and come back, maybe what you were meant to do was be the keepers of this here planet. Yeah. It is the only one that can sustain your type of life. Yep. So it needs a gardener. It needs a tender. It needs a person that can tend to it, that can fix it when it breaks and things of that nature. So you are called to a higher purpose. You are not called to wage war against one another. But I do get the Emperor as well. Emperor is represented by Mars. Mars is the planet of war. And so the reason the Emperor is not such a nice person in my deck is because this person usually abuses their power. Mm-hmm. This is the person who is the conqueror. Why do you need to conquer anybody? Why do you need to take their land so that your kingdom is bigger? That's not necessary. If you look at it from a global perspective. Thank you, Carmela. If you look at it from a global perspective, we were here to be the gardeners of the earth, not to be the guardians of the galaxy. The earth keepers, exactly. And so here with the moon and the 10 of swords, there is an ending to it, but the problem you must address is the people on it. War is a concept we created. Mm-hmm. It is not something that's just planted on the earth and we just dug it up. We want other people's land. We want other people's resource. We want other people. We want whatever it is we need to fight you to go take. That is the concept that you must destroy here with the 10 of swords and the moon. It's never ending. There is no end in sight. You can't see. You can't make it out. You have to figure this person out first. You have to get rid of the mindset of war before you can get rid of war.
I think of it as war being a symptom for a much deeper problem.
Mhm. Soulmates. That's what we all are here. We are to help each other grow. We are to help each other to carry forth and carry on. Fork in the road. Fork in the road is not a blockade. This is you making a decision, an informed decision. Diplomacy does work, but you got to get these horns and this helmet and this posturing off of your head first. You can't go out and start hypermasculating, beating your chest and think that I'm just going to take over the world. That is the thing you have to get rid of. Again, assessment. Before you go down either road, you need to apply some diplomacy and higher power. We are not put here to kill each other. Now, believe it or not, the death penalty is in the Bible. But the death penalty in the Bible is to be applied to people who kill other people. So if you went and murdered someone, you were supposed to kill that person to send them to judgment, is what the Bible says. And so it was never meant for you to try to take over somebody's land or enslave anybody. There's a higher power, there's a higher cause to why we're here, and it has nothing to do with war. Get rid of the mindset first.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Back to the past, if we will. Mediumship. Was it easier before technology? Was it easier before the distractions, before the satellite dishes, before satellite TV, before Netflix and binge watching? Was it easier to connect to spirit before so much stuff was in the way? Like the life of everyday people. I got to go to the dentist in the morning. I got to go down to the hardware store. This like was mediumship, talking to the other side, easier? Because now so many people think they can't do it, but you can. You just.
I have read away that there were more opportunities back then. Spirit is kind of, they have a sense of humor. They're like, well, you know, you would think there wasn't that much else to do back then.
Right.
Without some of the distractions, there were a lot more opportunities to connect with spirit. I have High Priestess next to 8 of 1. I think it was easier for some people to get intuitions. There was maybe, in a way, like, sure, there maybe wasn't the internet at your fingertips. It was harder to verify what came in. You know, does this match anything that can be actually proven? But at the same time, the insights that came in, it was probably hard to doubt, because nowadays, I'm like, even for myself, I might hear something from spirit and I'll be like, is that from spirit, or did I just hear that phrase on TV? Like, you know, like, or is that just like a song? Is there a reason? Just like, because sometimes, you know, spirit will put song lyrics or something in my head.
Yeah.
It's like, is that for the reading, or is that because I was listening to that yesterday? Yeah. So back then, fewer distractions. It was easier to get more information. And I don't know if meditation was easier or not or what, but just, yeah, fewer distractions. It was just, there was a more reliable connection to spirit there.
Yep.
That's true.
There was more openness. It's not, okay, one's telling me there was more openness. People were more open. They were willing to get the message, to receive the message, because there was a higher connection to spirit. We've put spirit more in the form of a textbook, the Bible, religion now, and not just true spirituality. There was more openness. Tarot tells me the 8 of Swords, followed by the major change. There's a death card. Why? Because the devil, we are now obsessed with our impulses, what do we want, our need, our greed, our fornication, our drinking, or whatever that may have diluted waters.
All of it.
It caused us to be, and now it's the burden. It has actually burdened us. It has burdened us. 6 of Cups, we may need to go back to that. Be a little bit nostalgic. Go back to the days when we were more open.
Yeah.
Sounds like a certain dog somebody has.
My first puppy wound right there. Okay. So, yeah. This is the card I got for that. Back then, it was so much easier to connect because there was such a more of a better connection between us and the actual earth. We went to bed earlier. We were more rested. We got up earlier. We looked at the sky for answers for the time of day and all of that. We were more connected to nature, and that made us stronger back then. Now it's more of you have to make a more of a concerted effort to get out into nature so that you can have that connection, and that requires presence. You have to be present of mind, present of spirit, and that is happening because you're using the tools. Back then the tools were easier to use because there weren't so many of them, but now we have so many tools to work with, and it's it can be very confusing for some people who have a gift but don't know how to connect to it. So that's what I get.
I get, yes, easier back then before all of everything in the world had a wire to it. But I don't get that it was as common as it is now. And the reason is because here you have the Seven of Wands, the Devil, and the Four of Cups. It was witchcraft to say that you can speak to dead people. And perfume at one point in human culture was considered witchcraft because you altered the way you smell. Makeup. Now, mind you, all this has something to do with women. And so powerful kings of the world would be seduced by some woman who smelled good and had a face painted. And then next thing you know, his whole kingdom went down. And then, because you was out fornicating when you should have been planning and so forth and so forth.
Ooh,
And so
that hasn't changed.
At all.
Right. Sounds about normal.
That perfume kind of stay busy. So there was a defending against ideology back then. Today, the block here with Isa, this means blockade. This is the room for ice, it means blockage and so forth and so forth. For something frozen, something stopped. That has been released because of TWAS. This is about teamwork. This is about togetherness, what you can do together, stronger together type of thing. And back then, you may have had to travel a long distance to see a shaman. You may have traveled a long distance to see a worker, light worker, voodoo worker, whatever kind of worker. Somebody who knew how to contact. Or maybe you just leaned upon their own understanding without the knowledge that you know how to do this too. And so nowadays, with the teamwork, you have Sawillo. This is the light being shown upon. This is the room for the sun, the light being shown upon the things you can do. Now, if you don't know what sage does, you can look it up. You can talk to somebody. You go, sometimes there's a new age store in every town. You can go and say, hey, what crystal do I need to make sure that I don't punch my boss in the throat? Okay, let me get you this one and a couple of, meditation treatments because we don't need this time. Because this is just a rock still. We don't need you throwing this at somebody.
Yeah.
And because I had to tell my brother that. I gave him a obsidian. He said, I'm going to scratch somebody with it. First of all, give it back to me, first of all. Second of all, no.
First of all,
no, puppy, bad puppy, bad puppy.
First of all, I don't have your bail money tonight.
No. So we ain't got that kind of time for that kind of thing. So it was easier then, but it's more accessible now.
Yeah.
It's now there's no stigma against it. Hell, there's even TV shows about it. What's the man, John Edwards? He made a fortune being a medium. So there's a business to it now. So, good things happening.
Yeah.
In the present. We're going back to the present. And here's another good thing. I mean, it's the way you look at it. And thank you, Sue, as well. And then I missed another one. I think I missed a different one.
It was just Sue.
Sue, okay. Homelessness. Now with the tiny houses and the 3D printing of houses, and all kinds of different things people can live in other than the streets and boxes and carts and that type of thing. Now that there is so many different avenues to create houses and homes and communities, will the homelessness crisis right now, here in the present, will it improve?
Oh, that's something interesting. It could. It could. There's more concerted effort, people wanting to help other people. I have also the strength card, Spirit saying, like, there are a lot of really good ideas out there that people have in order to combat this. Fostering just better connections to different people and resources in the community is really important. Because we're starting to move more into empathy and compassion. But the thing about this is the people in power have to allow this to happen. Because, you know, you can have like the community of the tiny houses, but what if someone in the city goes, oh, well, there's no permit for this. We're not allowing this here.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how people have like that some cities have that anti-homeless architecture and stuff. Yeah, the people in power have to let these people be helped. They have to let this happen.
Go ahead, Toni. I'm still deciphering.
Yeah, I think stability and security is the problem, as we know. And it's going to require a lot of universal energy, because homelessness is not a U.S. problem. It's a world problem. There are so many people who around the planet have nothing, and you know, we complain about French fries. Oh, this one, the network. The network has to be strengthened. All of the roots, homelessness is the lack of roots, and so the roots that we want to see formed for the people who have nothing, who are on the fringe, who are left behind because they have mental illness, or they have abuse problems, women with you know, abusive relationships and that kinds of thing can cause homelessness as well. So we have to strengthen these lines of the roots chakra. We have to strengthen the roots of the people who are actually homeless, and we have the ability to come up with the solutions, but the problem is, will we? It's just been a problem forever. Will we come up with a solution to help those who have nothing? I'm coming up with, if we can forgive the government, if we can forgive the people who choose to be on the fringe, who don't want to participate in this what we call the rat race. We have to forgive them, the people who are just on the fringe because of most of it is mental illness. So there's a lot of forgiveness that has to be done, and a lot of work that has to be done. The question is, will we? I'm not sure that we will, but I'm praying that we will. I don't know. I don't get a definitive answer.
Mm-hmm. There's potential, and it's going to be, how do I put this? It's not going to be kind of like Seanna said, it's not going to be based off any kind of government entity, any kind of government stepping in. It is actually going to be independent people. It may even be corporations who go in, multiple corporations. You've got the wealthy man and the lovers, people who want coalitions, who want to go do this, who are just like, I'm tired. We see the despair out there. We want to change it. However, here's where the government gets in, because the government is going to start saying, hey, we see you doing this. We see you doing this. Maybe you're trying to write it off on taxes. They're not going to trust the
Good intentions.
exactly, thank you, of what's going on. So they're going to go to try with the marriage and the message, try to, these people who are together, who are working together, the marriage, they're going to get a message, which is going to be, what are you doing? What's going on? We're going to reset expectations. So now we're going to make it, it's all going to be about taxes, or we're going to make it a little bit more difficult, or we're going to put a couple different loopholes.
Yeah, red tape.
To get, can you just, like, I'm just going to put up the cards and then you read them for me. Because you need to say, no, because my brain's like, and I'm just like, what word do I want to grab out of the sky? And you're like, red tape. I'm like, yes, that one.
These are just the words, those are the words that keep popping in.
And then I pulled a little tarot, and it kind of tells me the same thing. There's going to be some offers they're not happy with. It's going to be heartbreak for a lot of things. However, there's going to be some stuff that's going to be done in the secret. People are going to start going, screw this. And what's going to end up happening, and I love this, is what I'm hearing. You're going to see bursts of these changes possibly happening throughout the world. It's not going to, and also the world card too, for me, is not something that happens overnight. It's something that's going to take a long time. Think of how big this freaking globe is, right? And what's going to happen is you're going to start having different, it's going to help create healthy competition, I'm hearing. You're going to have different societies, different groups going, we've eradicated homelessness. What's wrong with Sri Lanka? Sri Lanka's like, okay, well, we're going to do this. What you've got, Ghana, and Ghana's like, listen, and it's not going to look the same, though. That's the thing I want everybody to understand. And I like with this expectation card, homelessness here, I don't know if anybody's traveled overseas, is very different. Poor here is not that it doesn't suck, but it's a very different level of poor. So we have to taper our expectation on when we say homelessness, when we say poverty. It may not look like it's going to be leaps and bounds, but it's going to be better, and it's going to be on the world stage. It's just going to take a while. There's potential. It's just going to take, it may be children's generation to get through it.
So will we have a solution right now? No, but I do get the burst. Eight of Wands. There will be some quick action, but this is not governmental. I don't get the Hierophant, I get the Ten of Cups. This is going to have to be society that cares about other society. So, for instance, Jeff Bezos created a bunch of these little tiny houses for people to live in. Gavin Newsom put some federal money up for people to go live in these little tiny houses. But here at the Four of Swords, I hate to say it this way because it's not, I feel that that's not true. It's actually not true. What keeps trying to fly out, I'm going to say it anyway. Good Jesus. Because I'm trying to push it back and it keeps wanting to come out. It's not enough. And Kathy, boom, there it is. The churches are the ones that need to be doing this. But that's me being judgmental. But so back to the it's not enough that this is because what it's okay, I get it now. Thank you very much. What it's basically trying to tell me is yes, this looks good, but it could look better. Now, here's the thing though, because I get the Four of Swords. If I'm homeless and there are 9 other homeless people on the street with me, and we've got 3 of us houses and the 7 don't. Yes, I feel bad for you because I was there just 2 hours ago. But me being somewhere other than the street does count. So yes, it is not the best because all 10 people are not living somewhere. But no, it is not the worst because you at least got 3 people off the street. And I don't like the mentality of, and that's why I'm pushing back on this, I don't like the mentality of it's not good enough. Simply because you then start to slap people on the hand when they do anything. Why did you put the fire out? No, why did you save the children from the fire instead of putting the fire out too? So it's just because you've done a good thing, you could have done a better thing. Well, yes, you could always have done a better thing. But how about you take what I give you right now and how about you, since you standing over there criticizing me, help me work on this issue? Yes, you got 38 cents in your pocket, but give me 35. Because what you going to buy with 38? So, and then I can take that and maybe put it together with somebody else's 38 cents and so forth and so forth. So if you just want it all to be on me, then help me be it on me. Then this is why I get that it's not enough, because the wealth in this country alone can do a whole lot. So that's why Spirit is saying, yes, it's nice. Yes, it's cute, but it could be better. Some people are literally sitting on their hands, and it's like, since I'm not homeless, it's not my problem. Uriel, which is untamed. This means this problem is out of control, which means that there is a control to be had that nobody can get. That's what out of control is. They cannot ring this in. There's always going to be somebody homeless, always. Such laugh is the angel of verdancy. Verdancy means life, greenery, abundance, that type of thing. So this problem is everywhere. This problem is not just out of control, but it has a solution. And I don't want to just say if people cared a little more, but that's kind of what pops in. And I hate to blame everything on them, but this is what it is set up in God's word, the Bible, that the church is supposed to take care of the welfare of the people. Now, you can't fix everybody, because some people they can't ever get their life together. It's like you can put them in a mansion, tax-free, and somehow or another they will go right back to living on the street. It's a mental problem at that point. It has nothing to do with housing. It's in here. You get Selengiels. This is the angel of snow. This is the angel of trying to be happy in the midst of your surroundings. It is the angel of trying to bring something horrible and bringing it to the light and taking out the good. And so, yes, homelessness will always exist, but people who care about it will always exist too. So you will never have one without the other. So that's the silver lining in this. It's not going to improve right now, but there is hope for the future. Speaking of future, and speaking of little houses, technology. What kind of leaps and bounds will we see technology go through? Will it be a good energy? Will it be a bad energy? All technology wasn't good for mankind. But you live with it. We'll talk about one of them. You know what? Pause. Florida, get y'all. I ain't gonna curse. Get y'all stuff together. Jesus Christ. Japan, get your stuff together. If you know you got toxic waste and toxic fumes and toxic water, get y'all stuff together.
Yeah. Don't put in a little kiddie pool.
Jesus, I'm saying.
And then be shook when the kiddie pool burst.
Oh,
technology.
I had to get it back too. I'm down.
Sorry.
I started walking down the street, rolling my neck in my head. That's what I
was really irritated for a minute.
Like, these mothers. This is how I was gone.
I had called them all kinds of mother suckers in my head.
I was halfway to the liquor store. I needed a pipe.
The question is the future of technology?
The future of technology. What does it look like for mankind going forward? Okay.
I'm not done pulling all my cards yet, but spiritually, porn is always going to be a thing.
Jesus.
People are always going to use it for some kind of purpose like that. I better finish shuffling because
I'm going to actually change and do this completely different. All my cards are in the gutter for some reason. And then you pulled the devil, so I know I need to change it. So
Well, and then I got him too. So
okay, what the hell's going on with this?
The devil's my outcome card.
Technology is the devil.
I just kind of thought of something. Okay, well, first of all, with the internet and stuff, like I said, I think people are familiar with like Rule 34 or whatever. There's always going to be porn everywhere. That was one thing Spirit showed me with this devil card. Okay, that's not going to change. But another thing is with advertising and constantly being tracked and constantly having things sold to you and ads being shoved like in your face. It could be potentially a big problem in the future. Some people might feel like it's hard to advance, or some people, it might put them off from using certain new technologies if they are afraid that they're going to be tracked and watched, pretty much every move, because someone's going to profit off of having all your information.
I got some devil and a 10 of pentacles. This money that can be made off of, I mean, for crying out loud, your grandmama may start having an OnlyFans, and you're like, Grandma, I thought you were selling bacon recipes, Grandma. But Grandma out there talking about, baby, I got to do what I got to do in between these Social Security checks, baby.
Well, that's what she means by cookies.
And I just, okay. I'm like Johnny. All of my cards are real horrible. So let me see if I can get an oracle that maybe.
I do have some positive ones. Like, I have, it can help people to transition. Like, I do have the strength card. I do have the sun card. Spirit was showing me how technology, when it comes to like the medical field, that could be a very, very good thing, a very good change. Because Spirit wanted to show me with some cards, it could help either to stop. This is like to do with progressive diseases that just attack the body. It could either stop them, or there could, in the future, they might find some way to regrow, damaged parts or damaged things like that. So like there is some hope. There's a little bit of hopeful energy around it. It just depends on how it's being used.
Yeah. It's, we started out just as a means of communication, and now it's a means of business and a means of for crime and for punishment and for bullying, and all of that stuff goes into it now. What we don't have a lot of is truthful, we have some truth, but we don't have a system with our internet that's based on truth, because there's so many different versions of it out there. And like Seanna was saying, that for the medical field, it's good because everybody's records now are online. You can access them and you can see exactly what's going on. Where it used to be, we were in the dark about our own health. So this is good for us, and our physical bodies. But we have a problem with the flow of energy, with the internet and with technology. We're having a problem with the flow because it's being co-opted by people who want to make money. So the flow, they're regulating how fast your internet is, as opposed to a big business. All of that goes into this particular flow, because greed and power and avarice and all of that stuff with porn and all that stuff goes into it. So I'm sort of like, we have no idea, but we're just gonna go forward anyway. So I don't know where we're gonna be with that.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Seanna.
No, go ahead.
Oh.
No, yeah, go ahead. I wasn't saying anything.
Oh, okay. I keep pointing this way, but I mean to point to you that way, Seanna.
Yeah, backwards. I know.
Yeah, government's gonna get involved somehow again, and this wouldn't be surprised again. Government finds a way to start profiting more off of this whole magical thing called the internet. That's the yin. Let's look at the yang. What's the positive? Go to the light. Whenever you're in the darkest place, the dark place, it is always encouraging you to go to light and get out of dark place. I don't know if anybody who's ever had a really crappy day at work and then spend about 15 minutes, which turns into 5 hours on the TikTok. Or like Johnny says, there's a whole channel where you can watch cats meowing and doing whatever. Just as it can be dark, just as it can be greedy and corrupt, people can use it to also pull themselves out of a dark place. There's also going to be some stability and security. Like, again, I have yet to put any of my products in a physical store, but yet my business has been okay because of the internet. It can be a way, when used for good, to help provide stability and security to a lot of people. I love what you were saying, Toni, about the medical field. This can help provide some more stability and security. People can now learn more about their health, do whatever. So with the dirty, the grimy, the nasty, the corruption, also comes a really good place where we can use it as a weapon for good. And a lot of people hopefully will.
And if you would like to visit that business, lentilhealing.com. My card for technology actually is the Wheel of Fortune, because that was man's first invention, was the wheel. So the Wheel of Fortune, technology, the Eight of Pentacles, something you use on a daily basis. The Page of Wands, something physical though that you use to talk, not just communication through the air with the Eight of Wands, because that could be email. So your telephone is going to have an upgrade in the next 10 years, because this is the number 10. So in the next 10 years, like I said, my telephone, I don't even have to touch it to manipulate it. All you have to do is hold your hand and do this, and you move it from side to side and turn up your music and everything. You don't even have to touch it. So right now we are in a place where you don't even have to dial anything. Say, hey Siri, hey Alexa, hey, Boom Shika, call such and such, and then it'll call such and such. But your phone is going to progress even from there, because we have that now. So it's going to go and progress from there. Also, there is, just like Seanna was saying here with abundance, a lot of your information that is stored on the internet, from site to site to site, even the ones you didn't mean to click onto. As soon as you click it, they capture your IP address and everything else.
They know
everything.
They know everything, especially if you do like I do and you go finding tarot decks from all over the world and you use Google Pay. Google Pay, you pay it. I don't have to type anything in. Boom. Okay, we're going to save your information for the next time you come here. I just wanted this one thing. I ain't ever coming back here, but yet they saved my information. So there is a boundary upon the abundance of your information being stored. And then there is a release. So there is a change that is coming to that information being stored, or there is a change to the information being sold back and forth. I'll do a reading on that tomorrow. Facebook says they were hacked, but we'll see. So yes, there is some technology advancements coming. I got in the form of communication. I got in the form of telephones and information that is stored online. So your cookies and your things of that nature, things that collect little pockets of data and share it with everybody in the world. That's the reason why you can go looking at tennis shoes on Nike.com and then go to Facebook, and guess what's on the right side of your page? Tennis shoes ads.
Yep.
Like that. It's like that. Instantaneous.
Yes, Stress Leche, I say boom chica. Yes.
Side note. May I ask a question?
You go right ahead.
Child, what kind of space age phone do you have where you can do some
I know. I'm like,
bullshit?
yeah.
It's called the LG Think.
Well, of course it wasn't an Apple. Did I say that out loud?
My phone's a Samsung, and I think I can do some gestures like that, but not as many as you're like describing.
The problem is
I don't have that setting on. I don't want my
to
camera
make it
watching me
work.
all the time.
takes forever. That's the part I don't like. But you do that, and it's probably not on. No, it was on because it was. Oh, there it is, right there. You do that, and you do this, and then you can switch the screen from left to right. You can program it to, if you want it Open your email, open your songs, open your whatever, and so forth and so forth. But
It's like magic. It's like Reiki.
you do it with your hands. You don't even have to touch
Meanwhile, my phone always thinks I'm saying ducking.
it.
Yeah.
Because they want you to be a nice Christian girl. That's all that is. So, speaking of nice, let's talk about the earth. But we're going to go back into the past here. Was the earth energy, let's say what was the earth energy? We won't judge and say it was happier or meaner, whatever. What was the earth energy before human energy consumption? Before we started pumping things out the ground, before we started draining all the water in places, before we started building factories and things.
So like pre-industrial revolution?
Yes. What was it like? Well, we were just farmers in dark outhouses. Now look here. Let put the car. I'm gonna put the cars down on this here one. I love Earth very much because I can't live nowhere else, and it's beautiful to even look at from where I stand. But I need air conditioning, and I need a refrigerator. So I'm gonna need you to let me have those things. But what was the energy on the Earth like?
I need internet.
Before mankind started to rape the crap out of it. What was it like? Okay.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, my guides just gave me a really interesting idea. Slightly petty, but very interesting idea. Good Lord.
Thank you, Desiree. Did you change the spelling of your name? I think you did. It looks different.
It does.
Wasn't there an O in the first name?
Well, like a O-R-E. Yeah. Hi, Desiree. Of course there was. Of course there was. And of course. Okay. Extreme. Go ahead, Seanna.
I'm still trying to make sense of my cards, but one thing I do understand is that the earth was back in those days was able to give back to you more so than it's able to nowadays. I kind of wanted to ask Spirit what that means. I think I understand. There are more resources. There was less. There was really no threat of running out of anything. You had everything you needed.
Mm-hmm.
Come back to me. I am still working these ones out, but Spirit wanted me to say that one right away.
Well, it was abundant. The energy was so abundant. It was wild. It was the energy of lightning. It was unpredictable. It was it was magical. There was the psychic abilities were more prevalent, and the energies were more limitless energies. So it was oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It was wild. I love this card because it says so much about energy and what it can do and what it does.
Pure energy too.
Yes, it's pure, very pure. The energy that we work with now, well, we all know it's a little less pure and a little less magical. It's a beautiful card.
Sorry, Seanna. So sorry.
I have this. There's an undisturbed energy. It was peaceful. The earth was undisturbed. And This goes to me. This kind of goes along with what you were saying about it being wild. There's just the mental image I have is like forests just taking off and growing, and plants everywhere, and just like greenery everywhere, and depending on your location and you know, your climate and stuff like that. Again, it's this like very fertile land. Just like very, also the energy of the planet herself is just, it was very peaceful. And there was just more harmony, I think. Ecosystems were just in better balance. I just pick up there was so much more harmony.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's talk about, I did a full chakra read on Mama Earth pre-industrial revolution. Mama, very interesting. So she was very healthy, physically healthy. This was probably when she was at her prime. We don't have a whole bunch of, first of all, we don't have kiddie pools full of toxic sludge.
True.
Okay, so she was at her physical optimal prime. She also felt, it's very interesting how I got this, tribalism, family. She actually felt more connected to the universe. We've done so much to her blueprint. She almost doesn't recognize herself right now. She felt very at home, it was almost like her Jupiter and Mars and Saturn, they were like getting together every third Sunday to play spades and bid whiz because they just were a part of the very deep and I'm sorry.
So much potential. She had so much potential.
She just was happy. She was good. I'm sorry. Leave it up to me to. Okay, bid whiz. I'm sorry. Okay. For those of you who have no idea what bid whiz is, it's a card. It's a card game. Okay, yeah. Okay, she was very balanced. She was just balanced. Her sacral chakra, it just worked. Everything was attuned. She also found pleasure. She was happy. She was happy that trees could grow uninterrupted from her earth. She was able to replenish herself, create herself. She took a lot of joy and pleasure into that. She also had more free will because there was nobody, give me a word, Seanna, impeding.
Yeah, impeding her progress.
Their free will on her.
Oh, imposing.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what it is. Imposing
on her. She could be powerful. She, like you were saying, lightning. She could do magical stuff. She could sing. She probably radiated more sound. Before we put all of our human EMF and our technological EMF. Her EMF was probably amazing.
Wow, I'm getting chills on that. That's
we started, doing our thing. I pulled, so that was 7 cards. I pulled 2 to give me the 2 extreme chakra, because there can 9 chakra system. If I did 7 lower, what are the 2 upper? Spiritual awareness. Spiritual awareness and divine consciousness. That's just heavy. I'm sorry. That's heavy to me.
Yeah.
I think I put Johnny to sleep.
No, my cards are okay. So here's the thing. Because I had to pull, and I'm like, okay, I understand, but okay. Burkana is the birch tree. This is the tree of life. So this is representative of Earth. It is fertile. It's Earth. If you look at Venus, it's a noxious gas, which is 800 degrees all the time on a cold day. And then you look at Mars next to us, which is a barren wasteland of just red dirt and ice. So in between, you got the Goldilocks zone where something like our planet can exist, and then life can flourish, and so forth and so forth. Earth will survive and withstand past humankind if we decide to all kill ourselves or something. It was here before us. It will be here after us. However, the thing that it cannot survive is pollution. So it can survive people taking energy out of it. What it cannot survive is you constantly putting garbage into it.
Right.
Bodies.
Fehu, this is about money and wealth and that type of thing. Even won money, casinos. You go down Las Vegas Strip, and when you said the thing about imposing, there was never a whole layer of concrete with dirt underneath it.
Right.
That dirt wants to produce something, and now it can't because there's a building sitting on top of it that's shaped like a pyramid or New York City or a castle or whatever the case may be. Then you have Ehwas. This is the change. This is exposure. This is helping. We are still the stewards of this earth. It won't die on our watch. I know it looks bleak, and that's all we talk about. And that's kind of what we need to talk about, because I believe it's that we do need to kind of scare people into change by saying you're killing the actual earth. Like the actual thing.
It's not wrong either.
Exactly.
It's still true. Yeah.
And it's like, she will survive us, yes, but that does not mean just because she will survive us, you need to keep poking holes in it. That you need
Doesn't
to
mean
keep
she'll
destroying
thrive.
that you need to keep filling it with wastewater and causing earthquakes, that you need to put toxic waste anywhere near water. There's a mankind problem. It's never an earth problem. Now, mind you, like I said, we were the stewards of this here earth. When something goes wrong with it, something goes wrong in it, forest fires. I don't know how many deers and squirrels you've ever seen carrying buckets of water to put out the fire. That's what you're here for. We can contain that. We know how to put out fires of all kinds. So that's why you need mankind, the thinking beast, not just the reacting beast, that we can do that type of thing. But what Earth was not expecting you to do was put concrete over its soil.
Paved paradise.
Yes. To put up a parking lot. Okay. What was that? That was the past. So let's go back into the future. Vaccinations. What is the energy right now around vaccinations? Or is everybody scared? Is everybody excited that it's here? What is the energy around vaccinations? And we'll leave it at that. If we cannot go into the politics rules, that would be nice. Even those in the chat, don't start talking about politics rules, please. What is the energy around the vaccinations?
My first card that jumped out is already there are people that are profiting heavily.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't I say I was going to use a tambourine tonight every time I had an outburst? Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I got interesting.
Interesting.
From the cards that I have, there is a slightly more excitable energy surrounding it. Because a lot of people think, okay, well, if we all get this and this all works, we can be able to move forward and finally get past this. I think the effects or something in the long term, they're still not quite known. So that's still growing. People's knowledge and understanding of how this is going to affect people still growing. But there's a lot more excitable energy because it's like, I can go see people again. I can go be with people again. And of course, I'm not going to ignore this one that right away there are people that are making all kinds of money off of this. I have another card like about money or something here too. But there are also people that are skeptical. I have for this Four of Cups. And actually, personally, I know some people who are very skeptical about it, and I understand the reasons for it, but some people are not sure. Because it's like, well, look at all these different attempts for a vaccine and these didn't work. So how do we know this one is going to work? There are people that are just they're sort of hesitant. It's like, what is the phrase? Like bated breath, I think, because it's like, I need to see how this affects other people. I need to see what the majority has to say about this before I go and do it for myself. So it's kind of like this excited but uncertain feeling. That was what I was thinking of.
I'm getting this, the yin and the yang. Yet once again, some people see this as a huge accomplishment. I know me personally, I had a very unexpected reaction when I was in line getting my vaccine. I cried like a little French girl. And I cannot tell you the last time I cried. Now, granted, I cried because as a human, looking at all of these humans, all of these firefighters, EMTs, doctors, regular Joe Blows coming together was overwhelming to me. And then really thinking of the people that I lost to COVID last year and how I wish they were able to get a vaccine or something that could have prevented 500,000 people just in the US to die. So you've got people who are looking at this as an accomplishment. Then you've got Seanna. I love what you said. You've got the people who are still skeptical. The message to them, though, is that they need to have mythical channeling. They need to evolve their thought process.
Have a little bit of faith.
Go from the moth to the butterfly. Because what's going to happen is if you're so skeptical of this, when some good miracle happens, you're never going to believe it. Expand your thought. Believe in the possible. Believe in the beauty of the change. Because something has to change this situation. This crap sucks. So there's that. I pulled some tarot. I got all the nines and the Hierophant. 9 of Cups. It's again this yin and yang. There are people there's some happiness behind it. However, there are some people who are raking out, making money. There are people who are skeptical with the 9 of Wands. And then you got your government sitting right in the center. So it's just very interesting. But I like the challenge your thoughts and the people who are looking at this as a pretty big accomplishment.
Yeah. I got the 2 of Wands, and for me, this card, it's saying that everyone's standing in the doorway, looking out into the world. Do I step forward? Is this safe for me? Can I do this? What will happen to me on the other side of this doorway? But the vaccine has come through as people have done the work. They've come together. They've put these 3 vaccines together, and so now people are able to travel the wheel once again and relate to, and have better relationships, because now we can get out and see each other. And wow, I'm getting chills. My mom just got her shot, and I'm just like, I'm over the moon, because I was very worried. I was very, very worried about her. So
I get the moon and co-create. Co-create is, as you see, there's an owl, and then there's a cheetah, and then there's a spotted egg. You have 2 completely different things coming together to make something new. So this would be your pandemic coming together with your scientists, with your business people who are able to fork over some money to where everybody can get it for free and blah, 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 blah. So it's a bunch of stuff coming together to make sure you get it. Here with the moon, though, again, there's no end in sight, which is where we get the unfinished symphony and the justice card. This is an ongoing problem. SARS-2 or COVID-19, whatever you want to call it, is not a new disease. It's not a new fact. It's not a new virus. It's not a new thing, period. It's just happened on a scale that made it national news or worldwide news. And so therefore, the new freak out happens. It's just kind of like when you hear about Ebola, okay, we know about that one. When you give something a different name, if you called Ebola, you know, Tom Green tomorrow, then it'd be like, oh my God, everybody's got the Tom Green disease. And then it's going to be turned into a thing to where everybody's hiding under the bed again. So this is going to be an ongoing thing. But there is some balance in it, meaning that the problems we face going forward into the future do have know-how by somebody here on this earth. This is why science is a good thing. Thoughts and prayers are cute, but what are you going to do in this lab? So it does have some people that whatever is going to come, because mind you, human beings are social creatures. And so if I get it, you're probably going to get it too, because you were standing next to me when I got it. So it's going to continue to happen no matter what it is, if it's just a cold or the flu or COVID or something like that. But like I said, there is a balance to it. People are in the labs. They do have the know-how to create vaccines. Exchanging gifts. This is putting a price tag on something. That's in the Four of Cups. There are people worried about taking it, first of all, because there is a lot of, and please do not take your medical advice from people with magic cards.
Yeah. Yeah, really.
For entertainment purposes only.
Yeah.
Entertainment.
When people do health readings, I say this is what the cards say, but I am not a doctor.
We don't diagnose. We can't.
Do not take your medical advice from me. Take your hips down to the medicalations and get you something going on.
You said medicalations.
But there are people who, for whatever reason, I won't actually even go into all that. They don't want to take it because of whatever reason. But that's the energy around the vaccine. I think we covered that enough. We'll move on. Okay. Future. Let's go into the future one more time. Divination. What will it be like in the future? What is the future around the energy of divination? Any kind. Arrows, oracles, whatevers. You read clouds, what you read. What you read bones, what you read. Whatever it is, what is the energy around divination going forward? Oh Lord.
I don't like that.
This is weird.
I don't like that
That's
either.
weird cards too.
The image is weird. This
Okay, I mean, Spirit's telling me I can keep pulling them cards, but they all gonna be ugly. So, okay then. Right.
Well, I think we had kind of mentioned this when we were talking about mediumship in the past, but how in the present day it's more accessible. The future of divination, it's going to be a lot easier to get that message out. Because, we got YouTube, we got all these different ways. With the internet, there are going to be more ways to fact check what a psychic says or to verify. If somebody read on the past or did a medium reading on like a public figure or something, it's easier to check what lined up, what did not line up. Now we have ways of like recording sessions and stuff like that. Somebody could record a session with the psychic, sort of keep it in the back of their mind and keep the file in their computer. And then they can go back and say, okay, did this line up with what happened here? But that kind of opens the door to more, opens the door to more conflict. Because with the ease of getting this message out, this is not just for psychics and mediums and stuff, this will be for everybody. Everybody is going to be able to, even now we find that everyone always has an opinion, always has something to say, always has some kind of comment, can definitely open the door to more conflict between people. But I do have, it gives some people's message a wider reach, and that can be a very good thing. Spirit always likes to try and end things off positively as much as it can with my cards, because we are supposed to help each other. And that's something that's going to be very important for us, for our growth and our well-being. I also just have, especially with the internet, it'll be a lot easier to have a career based in spirituality and divination. But that's what I got.
Interesting. Do you want to go, Toni?
Sure. This is the first card I pulled, which was, this is the wise man seeking enlightenment. And so this is who we are. We are the intermediaries for spirit, for this upper world, worldly energy. That's what's coming in for me. We're the communication of all the readers is happening, and will get better and better with the advancement of technology and the acceptance of people, of us actually as readers, more acceptance for us as readers and as people who have that upper world connection. So I think that we're going to be able to hold on to all that we have done as far as putting ourselves out there. We'll be able to hold on to that even. So this is where we're going to be. This is the end point, is that the illumination is what we're going to be able to give out to people in a better way, in a more concise, in a more emotionally satisfying way. He's crossing the great river. I'm going the wrong way. He's crossing the great stream. If you've ever heard of the great stream, you have to cross the great stream in order to get to enlightenment and connection to the upper world.
So first thing I asked was, where the personas, where the people who are going to be dabbling more into divination. You've got the person who, don't think of it as a god, like they think they have a god complex, but it's the positive attributes that are attributed to God, the benevolence, the compassion. People who also understand there's an internal external force that's driving everything. You're also going to have the gambler. The gambler is somebody who follows their intuition. Makes sense, right? Intuitive. People who are going to buck the textbook norm and go more with what's my third eye, my intuition. Yep. And then you've got the destroyer. People who want to burn the textbook rules and the status quo and the norm and pave new ways for people. So those are the three types of personas. Windfall, like Seanna was saying, there's going to be more of it. There's going to be this boom, explosion, because we're almost like we're going to do a 180 and go back to how things were pre-industrial revolution, like I got earlier, with this openness. There's a statistic that says like there are more and more people who are atheists or agnostic than ever before, more people rebuking religion. But where are they going to go? They're still spiritual minded. They're just looking for answers. So there's going to be more openness, and they're going to express it. There's going to be, I think you both are right on so far. There are going to be more communities, more. We are going to be the norm and not the exception in a couple of years. So 4 of us on the screen right now. There's going to be 18. You're going to go on Friday night. There's going to be 20,000. Pick your choice of which live stream you want to watch with some chuckleheads pulling tarot cards.
It's kind of cool though, because it just shows that, there's room in this universe for all ideas and experiences, and everyone is going to resonate. Each reader is going to resonate with somebody a slightly different way. So if they don't, for example, if I don't understand the message the way Johnny puts it, I might understand it the way that you ladies put it, or vice versa, But I like that there's always going to be a choice.
Yeah.
So people might be able to get the message in ways that they better understand and relate to.
Exactly.
Sorry,
so come on out for your pre-reading. That's what you do. Everybody, Ari, wagwan. That's the extent of my patois. Now here, this was kind of strange. The 4 of Pentacles, the person has their crown chakra has a pentacle, the heart chakra has a pentacle, and the root chakra has 2 pentacles. That's all they are ever concerned with. That is what they wake up in the morning thinking about. That's what's on their mind. That is what is before their spiritual enlightenment is money, possessions. I need to have, I need to, that's where their security comes from. That's why they're scared, because they're holding on to it. They're scared to lose everything. That's why the next card that follows is the Five of Pentacles, which is you lost everything. It's like, because yes, you are keeping those four, but it is hard to get to the six if you don't let the number five in. You can't let the change in to help you get to the next step, even if the change is hard. But this one here, her throat chakra, her third eye chakra, we're talking about divination. It is, my cards are a warning. Everybody else's was nice. My cards are a warning. Your sacral chakra as well here with the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is supposed to be about your innocence. But it is corrupted by your pleasures. All you think about is what I want, what I need to get. And a psychic's greatest weapon is their throat chakra, their ability to speak truth or not so much truth. And this here one is saying, and I brought up Miss Cleo, call me now for your free reading.
Hey, Miss Cleo, call me now.
What go on?
No.
And what the reason I bring her up is because, yes, she was an actual tarot reader. She was an actual shaman. Her hotline or phone line, whatever you call it, was fake. That was the garbage. That was the one that was a scam. And so what it's warning right now is, yes, there's going to be more access to psychics in the future. There's going to be more people in the future that are going to offer divinatory services, something along those lines. There's going to be more people that also prey upon other people. Mm-hmm. I know how to get rid of the spirit in your house, but it's going to take 6 sessions. And each one of those sessions is going to be $55. And if you stop after the third session, they're going to come back. And so this is the type of thing where you can pimp the game, and then next thing you know, you have drained somebody of hundreds of dollars and you did nothing.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Or you did something you could have done with a wave of some sage, or just an email, hey, burn some sage in your house.
Some sage, pray.
The lady I worked with, she said she had a guitar in her hallway and it started playing. She said she put pillows on the door because she didn't have nothing else because she was scared something was coming in. I said, okay, take some sage and go up and down your hallway. And she said, okay, now it's fine. Well, of course it's fine because it works for everybody. When you can do other things, yes. Yes, I could say, okay, then fine, let me go get my kit and, I'll come and do all this other type of stuff. No. But that's the part. People will be attracted to it. It is going to increase in the future. But you have to be careful on who you give your money to. If it sounds like they're talking bull crap, then tell them to go plow a field. But you ain't coming in my house with all that mess.
Yeah.
Right. Let's go back to the past. Sort of on the same lines. The energy of religion. Now, I don't mean what kind of effects did religion have on society. You can look that up in a book. I want to know from the spiritual perspective, what did spirit look at religiously back then and say it was doing to people? What was the effects of religion from the spiritual perspective on society? Because mankind created religion. It's not a spirit-based thing. And it's not a bad thing necessarily, as long as it doesn't cause you to do craziness. But we created that.
I have just from a spiritual perspective, this was something that was always meant to happen on Earth because people were supposed to remember their true spiritual nature, and they were supposed to see the difference between their true spiritual nature and what felt true to them, and the difference between that and rules that somebody else has established for you. And the point was to be able to walk away from these rules of living or believing that somebody else established for you. The point was to go and experience your own connection to spirit in your own way. But I have that it was helpful in ways that for some people it did bring comfort, helped them to feel better about some of their situation. And depending on how far back we go in human history in regard to religion, some people used that as a way to explain what was happening in the world because they had no other way of explaining it. Now, there's religions out there that, you know, command us to love each other and to care about each other. And for some people, that actually was a good thing. It made them, not necessarily for the, you know, maybe for the right reasons, oh, I better be good or else, you know, I'm going to get judged and sent to hell, but made people kind of want to be better to others because they felt like that was already expected of them. Wanted to clarify one thing. So like I was saying, there's many different ways to experience your connection to spirit. But over time, it started to get very clouded because like you can give advice on, well, you know, on connecting to spirit, like for example, I like to do this, this, and this. But some people might take that as, oh, those are rules for living. I have to follow all these rules. And that's kind of how it got clouded over history. Mm-hmm. People started to miss the point. And people started to cling to religion or use it to explain away things without doing the actual work and researching and wondering why, finding out why are things like this. Or some people just kind of used it to bypass doing other kind of work in their life. Instead of like doing some inner work and inner healing and having to face tough things, they might just go, oh, well, God will handle it. I'll be fine.
Jesus take the
I think
wheel.
People, yeah. Some people just
have
over time started to miss the point. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the energy surrounding religion in the beginning was to bring all of these solitary people into a group so that they can be more controlled. It was the people in power had designs on controlling the population, so they put out this message about if you come into the fold, you will be rewarded with heaven, and it became very burdensome for a lot of people because it was so restrictive. And it just started to, like you said, Seanna, it started to become different. What did you say? It became watered down and
clouded. Yeah,
and
kind
clouded.
of muddy.
Yeah. I pulled these 3 energy cards and they all came up heart chakra. Weird, love, compassion, and forgiveness. That was the original thinking for organized religion. That was what was supposed to happen, and it was supposed to be a circle of people coming together to worship one God. It has not stayed that way. The energy surrounding a religion in the beginning back then was to create that. You had the people in power who were using it for nefarious means, but the people who were serious and very, people who were serious about their spirituality, this is what they intended. They intended for people to come together and for people to worship and for people to gather and share that healing and that spiritual energy. So that was the energy that I got.
every reading I've done tonight is like the yin and the yang, the pros and the cons, the good and the bad, or the positive and there's some opportunities here.
Yeah.
The first thing is that this new way of thinking, this clarity of thinking, was how it was initially wanting to come in, give people an explanation, pull them together. That's the positive, right? But here's the negative. With that also came some burden, and also came some heartbreak. When not used correctly, when taken too seriously, or we also have to understand that, like Johnny's saying, religion is man-made. The Bible is a story.
Yeah.
Some argue how good or bad of a story it is, but it's a story. With that, when you take man's word as gospel, that's where the problems come in. Okay? The good. For some people, it did a lot of beautiful heart chakra work, particularly with forgiveness. There are specific, love thy brother, honor thy mother and thy father. There were some really particularly beautiful things that helped people from an energetic compassion and love. However, what is the actual opposite of that? Greediness. I mean, when I pull this card, I see Creflo $1. I see, I'm sorry, Joel.
I'm telling you, that's the person that popped in my mind as soon as you said
Olstein. I see the people who,
Kenneth Copeland.
the people who have made religion a profit, who all they care about are their possessions and not
prosperity gospel.
Yes.
And I think Spirit is a little ashamed, to be honest with you, because that's what I keep hearing. That's not what I intended this to be.
So let's get rid of the word religion for a second. Well, the connotation behind it. What I get tiwas and lagus. Lagus is subconscious. It means leek, like onions and garlic and stuff that grows out of the ground. It means lake too. So that's where you get your water, and anything to do with divination and water is all about emotions and subconscious. So this is your subconscious, your dreams, your basically, let's go, your higher connection to something other than the physical. It was meant to be a good thing. Religion's origin story, past mankind, is there is a God wherever. Let's not tell it. It's not a place. Let's not even go into titles of places. Not heaven and Nirvana and Valhalla and all these things. There's a God here, elsewhere. Or you can just look up into space and say you're inside the God or whatever. That is there. You are here. Your religion was supposed to connect the two, so that you were a part of it and you felt a part of it and you felt spiritually accepted. You felt like it was there with you. You felt like you carried it with you. You felt like you could talk to it at any time, and everybody else does it and they don't look crazy. You don't look crazy because you all are aware of the same thing. That's what it was. And then AWAS, this has changed. This is like the death card.
Thank you for calling Cooper's Law.
Transformation. This is my
Proceeding with an
Queen of Pentacles.
Please listen carefully.
Is that you playing stuff?
Reminder, reservations and ticket orders
I got it.
online
Oh, that's you.
beachwinery.com. If you are calling,
That's one of y'all. I'm gonna mute both of y'all. That's right.
It wasn't me.
There is the Queen of Pentacles. This is Earth. This is your spiritual connection to it and your spiritual connection in it. This is the imbalance, the Two of Pentacles. This is where man started to change things. Because, well, okay, we all are supposed to be aware of the same God and the same thing. But what if you did it my way? And then what if I convince 9 out of the 10 of these people to do it my way and you're on the fringe? And then either you feel alone or you feel now, I always say this, and this is just me being judgmental, that human beings have done the worst damage to God than anything and everything on earth. because we go out with our signs at soldiers' funerals saying God hates fags and you're going to hell because you had an abortion. And now God looks like judgmental person. Now God looks like the person who hates and not loves, and so forth and so forth. So we have taken it and we have perverted the image. We have perverted what it was supposed to be when it started. And so religion was not supposed to be a bad thing.
No.
We have turned it into that to fit our own needs. That's mankind for you, though.
It's what we do. It's how we do.
So let's go into the present. Speaking of perverting things, what is the energy? We have discussed this in the past about the earth energy. Let's look at the water right now. This was prompted by good old Florida. Trying to create fish with 3 eyes, I suppose. I don't know.
And hump back.
So what is the energy around the water on this here earth right now? Oh, Lord. Okay. I almost wanted to skip this. Not to mention Flint, Michigan.
Flint. I was thinking Flint too.
God.
There's another Jackson, Mississippi had a huge for a while. That was not making nearly as enough news as it should have.
It was one in Texas. It was a small place. And naturally I forgot it, but it made the Texas Herald or something like that, but that's about it.
I have that it's not great at the moment. It's not great.
Understatement.
Yeah, there are opportunities to make it better. So things could be better. As far as the energy itself of the planet's water supply, it's like its vitality is just slowed down. It's almost like it just vibrates slower than it ever used to. I think this has to do with pollution or something, because it used to be so much better, and then all of a sudden there's like this huge change. And this can even be referring to places in the world where drinking the water is literally deadly for, the variety of reasons. I just kind of have that, like, the planet herself is also just worried about this. Like, it's just like a worried feeling. But Spirit's saying, like, we can make things better. We can. It might take a lot of work. It could take a lot of concerted effort. It's like there is hope things can be better, but people really have to cooperate on this. Well, that's what I got.
Go ahead.
The relationship between the moon and water is, the moon regulates the oceans, and so it's a mystery as to what's going to happen with our water, because we are so burdened. The water supply is so burdened right now with pollution, with the fact that we just don't give a damn. We just don't seem to give a damn, and it doesn't really matter what we're doing in the present. The decisions that we're making are not really getting us to the place where we need to be right now. But I do have, a light at the end of the tunnel. Time will fix at least some of the problems that we have, so that we can have a little bit more security and confidence in the waters that we are drinking, that we are recreationing in. That's a word.
Yeah.
But time is the key to better water, and it's going to take a lot of the mastery that and knowledge and enlightenment to get us there. It's sad, but, and I'm covering all of the cards. Jesus. Yeah. It's sad where we are with it, but, and it's so burdened, but I think that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. If we can come together and figure it out, that flow. I don't know.
Vinyl is like a spiral cord. That does not say cord, by the way. It's a spiral coil. Woo! Sorry. Trying to make sense of all my cards, and so my brain is just I need to stop overthinking it, because I'm doing a man-made thing and just let Spirit tell me. But you confuse me, Spirit. That's why I'm using my brains right now. Okay. Water is wound up so tight it's about to break. It is so angst and so scared and so tired and so wound up. Unless it can connect back to Mama Earth, it will snap. It's literally just winding up and winding up and winding up, and it could break. I don't know what that break looks like. I don't know what that is, but this is an energy. The energy, she's about to freaking lose it. She's going to lose it. She does not feel stable and secure. She does not feel her power, which is the water itself, as being currency anymore. Water is currency. It's being blocked. She does not. We are impeding on her personal power. Again, imposing on her personal power. When we manipulate weather, she cannot, her oceans can't run and flow the way they need to. When we make these man-made dams, and all this hydro, yes, that's a good thing, but that's also kind of jacking her up and not letting her do what she needs to do. Her solar plexus is having a hard time. Lord Jesus, she wants to love and forgive us because she understands we are human and we are some basic heifers. We are really taxing her heart chakra. She wants to forgive us so much, but she knows we basic. Just she's working with it. But there's got to be some type of intervention for her to sustain and to continue to give us life, which is the currency, universal energy, and divine consciousness. If there's not a major, because the intervention is not, man is not going to wake up and just say, you know what? I should probably not put a whole bunch of battery acid in a kiddie pool.
Probably not.
Probably not. I can show you better than I can tell you, is what she's saying to us.
Oh, and she will show us.
And I was about to say that. Be very, very careful of how she shows us better than she can tell us.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the problem.
Good Lord, Johnny. Jeez.
Here's the problem. The Knight of Swords, rushing into action, you have a plan. But before the plan is fleshed out, you just walk out the door. Okay, fine, at least somebody's going to do something about it, right? No, this is chaos. This is chaotic. This is ill-prepared. It may have good intention, but you're going to make a mess of things because you should have thought about this before you ran out the door. The Knight of Cups, there is some band-aids that can be applied to the situation. You can clean water this way. You can clean water that way. But the problem with the entire thing is you don't make up for the bad with the little good.
Bless you.
Bless you.
It's like if you were painting a house and there's some Joe Blow on the other side of you. He's got a spray painter and you got a brush all of this thing. And you're painting it white. He's trying to paint it red. Every time he sprays that wall, here you come doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes to the next wall where you just were and paints that red. And by the time you get to there, all three sides are red, and then he's coming back on your side again. You can't just do little bitty fixes. This has to be an all hands on deck thing. The EPA, okay, that's cute. And then Bill Gates, he knows how to make fresh water out of sewage. I've seen a little documentary where he did that type of thing. Now, mind you, when he drunk it, he did like this. No, flip the glass up. I want to see you drink all the sewage water that you
Turn it. Get hurt like a frat boy at a kegerator.
It would have been down your throat, but what's this sewage water? Come on, let me see. And so, Simikiel, this is the angel of vengeance. Simikiel in the book, thank you. Don't say that word. Oh, don't say it wrong. Danyet, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry if I messed it up. Aloha to you, though. Simikiel, if you call him down because you feel you have been wrong, this is the angel of vengeance. If he comes down and figures that nothing has actually been done wrong, he still has to do something, which means he then takes the vengeance on you. That was what was in this book. So if you are going to go out and put little tablets in the water to purify it and do all these other little things, you need to do it on a bigger basis. Otherwise, this situation gets out of control, and then water then becomes your enemy. To where when you pump it out of your faucet, it comes out green or it has a smell to it. Pure water has no color, no taste, no smell.
Yeah. So
you turn that water on and it smells like metal. It smells like formaldehyde. It smells like whoever. The good thing is I have the star. Now, the star is the healing card, overall healing of everything. Healing of your energetic body, of your physical body, your spiritual body. It's healing of everything, even the world around you. The traditional depiction, she pours water into the basin and she pours water onto the land. The water on the land is meant to go out into the future, to take care of what's going to happen down the line. The water in the little basin or the little pool is to water her needs of right now. You have to think about now and then. Because your problem that you're having now is because of back then, where you did not give a crap what happened, or you deregulated everything that should have happened. And next thing you know, you're ending up with Flint, Michigan, and everywhere else that's just not being named. Because I guarantee you, if this happened in Beverly Hills, we'd hear about it.
Right.
And so this is a good card that says we will have some solutions. It will get better, but the sad part is drips and drops and over time. But we shall see. Won't we? All right. Quick commercial break. Shining Hawk Healing, Seanna Rose Metaphysical, Red Lentil Healing. The channels are all in the description below. If you want you some good old products, you go to redlentilhealing.com. And I don't have one of them sitting up here. Anyway, but go to redlentilhealing.com. I seen me, myself, and I say she got us. There you go. She got her some good old protection spray. I swear by it. So y'all go and you do that. You make sure you.
I don't sell this size now, mind you.
Oh my gosh.
You can always buy a bunch and make it yourself. So there you go. Where there's a will, there's a way. But make sure y'all go and you subscribe as well to all of those channels. Thank you, lucky girl. Our last one. Oh, let me do another commercial break first. So tomorrow I will be live with Shay from Blissful Divination, and we will do some political and non-political reads. Sunday I will be live with Jen and Becca on Jen's channel for our regular Sunday thing. And Tuesday, Jen is turning the big 6-0, and we will be celebrating her birthday on Tuesday. So y'all make sure you have your hips over there so we have us a good old time. Okay. Last one. We'll end on something good here. Stonehenge. Again, Seanna Rose Metaphysical. So you make sure the channel is in the description so you have no choice. And lucky girl put it in the thing.
Yeah.
So you make sure you go subscribe and you watch her live stream she did today.
Yes, it was awesome.
Weird Questions, episode 5.
Yes. And she did a reading on especially the past energies of Stonehenge, which was very fascinating. So,
because mind you, because I was watching it, I was getting my hair done. and I was like, because I wish I had felt what you called out in the reading when I went to Stonehenge. Like, I wish I had watched your reading before going there. Because it was just, I was like, really? Girl, really? Oh, I was just like, what are you watching? I was like, no, mind the business that pays you, which is my hair. It was really good. It was really, really good, Seanna.
Oh, good.
And we did a reading actually on the last live stream Jen had where we had 1,000 people up there. We did a Stonehenge thing, and I got that it was some sort of place for spiritual energy to come down. So you can go and commune with ancestors or go and be called up in the rapture. I don't know, but it was a spiritual energy that goes back and forth.
That was what I had picked up too. It was like a spiritual hub.
Yeah. So what is going with the energy in the future of Stonehenge? Like, is it going to be a place that people can go back to worship now that it's been sort of ordered off because they don't, people are stupid. They don't want graffiti, and you're trying to be He-Man and push the rocks over or something. But
somebody's gonna like graffiti one or something like.
But what is the energy going forward now that it's in that state?
Or like my friend Courtney, who made me take 22 pictures of her doing various yoga poses in front of it. I'm like, first of all, we look weird. Second of all, I'm pretty sure this was somebody's spiritual something, and you over here in downward facing dog with your booty too.
The ground is frigid, is not used.
Let's flex it for the gram, man. Come on.
Let's not go to Stonehenge and do the face down ass up right now.
Basically, yes.
Can we not?
Spiritual, but not right now. Not right now.
Can we not?
I'm sorry, the word tooted makes like makes me laugh so hard.
Tooted and booted.
I'm so
Well, Karma, the scientists say it's a solar observatory, so you're not wrong. That you can look at space and all that good stuff with it too. Heart of the sky. See, there you go.
Wow, it's all about the upper world and time. That circle. It's all about time and the upper world and I don't know. I just get the feeling that people or beings from other places use Stonehenge as a communication device. I don't know why, but that's what I'm getting is that it's a communication device.
That's what I always got.
Communication, and that that's the future of it. I did pull this card. I don't know why, the Devil, because there could be some burdening of the site in the future. Some people could there could be something that happens that causes people to to sort of rally around and either fix it or protect it in some way. So that's what I'm getting for Stonehenge for the future.
Now I have and actually you'll find if you guys like and viewers, go back and look at my weird question stream from the day. That it still exists, and Spirit was happy to see that it's being protected, and I still have that Spirit is happy to see that people appreciate it still, but it's not being utilized to its full potential anymore, because now it's just a tourist attraction that you can't really access. You can't actually use it, and like there's spirits that are just they're waiting for people to come back. Like, hello, anybody here? Like, that was just what I heard was like, hello, anybody here? But it's a restricted area. You can't go there. So you can't reliably use it for what its intended purpose was. But that's what I have like for energy in the future. It's just like it's waiting for somebody to just come and use it. It wants to be utilized.
Because right now, like you said, and mind you too, it is roped off. And how roped off, it is like, oh God. I mean, you're nowhere close. It's very far away.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like a 5, 6, 7 foot. I mean, it's 40, 50, 60 plus feet of the ropes that you get up to before you can even get close enough to a rock. Keep in mind, everything that happened in Stonehenge, it was because it's all the center. You needed to be in the center of it. Like Seanna said, you can't do anything with it.
Yeah.
It's all profits. It's this, oh, look, and we can make money off of making people guess what the hell it was for and come look at it. And we're going to, it's all yeah, whatever. Sure. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what this is then. That's what that is.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
Yeah. It's all about the monies.
Not being used for its intended purpose anymore.
Mm-hmm. What it wants to be used for future generations is kind of what I'm getting. It's this creative explosion. Go here, tap into me for creativity. Literally stand at the center of me and beam up to the cosmos and get whatever creative explosion, little explosion like the Big Bang that you need. This is creepy, bear with me, but I just have to repeat what I'm hearing. It also wants people to go for refuge, preferably crossover refuge. This is the place I want you to go as you're getting ready to cross over. Stand in the center.
Mm-hmm.
The ancestors did.
I got that before.
And we will, whoever needs to come get you will come meet you on the other side. Just stand in the center. Go here for refuge. Go here for your final moments. Go ahead and die, basically. Jesus will come grab you.
Not die, transition.
So I pulled everything, all the cards that I pulled out today. I pulled all of them, and I get all y'all's message. There's the money. There's the mankind. This and as you can see in this card, there's an attraction. These people back here are the most prominent, and they're nowhere near the stage. These are. It's an attraction now.
Yeah.
Radio
Novelty.
is supposed to be it's meant for travel, for spiritual travel, for messages to come down, for messages to go up, for spirits to go up. It's a portal. It's a beam me up, Scotty, if you will. It's a whole bunch of things, but it's all, and mind you, the stones themselves also have some sort of properties that you can get something out of too. So all of that means something, but it was not necessarily intended to be a attraction. You were supposed to go there to do whatever you needed to do. Now, right now, it is not being utilized. The Eight of Swords is being trapped by the needs of mankind or the wants of mankind or the preservation. People always think they're helping. And in some ways they are with these type of things. Yeah. Like, for instance, and I hate to equate the two, but I'm going to say it anyhow. In my lifetime, I've seen a cheetah, but I've never been to Africa. But they caught one and they put it in a cage for me to come look at the zoo. And I went and looked at it and I had a good time. All of the stuff that was buried with an Egyptian pharaoh, they dug it up and put it in a museum somewhere. I personally think you need to put all that stuff back where it but I would have never saw it if you didn't dig it up. But I'm still cool without seeing it. I really am.
You can take pictures of it.
Yes, there you go. There's a lot to learn from that type of stuff. I understand, but I don't think you need to take it out of where it was. That's just me being judgy. But dot. This is emptiness. This is the void. This is Stonehenge. There is a portal to the cosmos. This you can go there and commune with something that is also attached to you. Maybe I kind of get this feeling that you walk into the center and your mind is kind of wiped for a second, and you get to talk to something that nothing can get in the way of. Like, oh, I got to be here at 2:30. Oh, how long can I stand here? Oh, my back hurt. Whatever. It's like, okay, everything is like, shh. because this is emptiness. This is the void. This is like, okay, now is the time for just you and whatever else you're talking to on the other side. Because I get Chokamal, this is wisdom, and then I get Netzah, this is endurance. So this will always be here. And that thing will always be there. Sovereignty, it will always be there. Never ending story, it will always be there. No place like home. It does want people, though. It does need the energy. It does need the attention, even. It needs because that's what it was created for. It wasn't to be an attraction. You were supposed to use it for the betterment of mankind, but we'll see in the future. That's what it says. It might be used once again. Somebody else's judgment may have to reign on that one. All right. Thank you, Toni. Thank you, Seanna. Thank you, Adrian, for joining me again today. I will see y'all tomorrow. Me and Shay from Blissful Divination will be doing some readings. Also, once more and again, make sure you go and subscribe to Shining Hawk Healing, Sierra Rose Metaphysical, and Red Lentil Healing. Their channels are in the description. And go to redlentilhealing.com and get your life together. Get you some good old productions. And I will see y'all Saturday and Sunday. Also, I am going to try to do a energy live stream at least once a week. If not once a week, at least once a month. I think if we can do garbage once a week with all these, pillagers and rapers, then we can do something positive. So we're going to do that at least once a week, I think. Whoever wants to join me can. So I think y'all have a good night.